Hello everyone, Basic Ollie here, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of This Week on iRacing, the series that gives you all the information you might possibly need before the races appear on the UI. Let's talk about the most popular series so far, or just the top three in my opinion anyway series. We always go into those series first, dive into them. We're going to talk about IMSA. IMSA Open, IMSA Fixed and Endurance Race, because the 2-hour 40-minute race is back this week for the final round for the season, because we're into week 11 now, boys and girls, so we're really getting close to the end of the season and maybe getting our hands on those GT3 new tyre model tyres. So yeah, we're going to Detroit this week. I think it's going there in real life, which is why iRacing have picked it, so you may have to correct me on that, but I do believe IMSA is actually racing here. It's pretty wild to see this amount of cars racing around this track. I've got to be honest, I mean, it looks absolutely wild, but yeah, Detroit is not loved, I don't think. It's really not great in terms of participation, so I don't think you're going to get particularly high softs here. I don't think you're going to get particularly high participation. I think if you are in Europe or that side of the world, I think you're going to have to wait until the evening until you get multiple splits. It's just not one of those tracks that is popular. It's really tight. It's quite technical in places. There's walls everywhere. It's easy to crash. It's easy to die out. So, yeah, IMSA at Detroit. I can see why they're there because there's going real life racing there as well. But for me, it's a miss, to be honest with you. It's a bit meh. 8 a.m. is the start time. So if you're going to do this race, it's going to start early in the morning. And because of that, the track temperature is nice and low, so it's low 20 degrees. And there is no chance of rain apart from the 2-hour and 40 that has a 0.7% chance of rain. So, you know, if you get rain in your endurance this weekend, get yourself a lottery ticket, I guess. Go for it. All right, sweet. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, next up we have the GT3 Series, and they are heading to Monza, and it is one of my favourite combos. GT3s at Monza just work. Same with IMSA at Monza. I just love it. I think it's just a track. I absolutely love Monza. It is just so good. I don't know why. It's just a track I've just always loved, and I think I always will. It'd be nice if we get an updated Monza sooner rather than later, because it has changed quite a bit in terms of the curves and stuff. But anyways, right. So GT3 stuff. GT3 Sprint, Fixed and Endurance, as always, they follow each other, so we are heading to Monza. It's quite an early start in Sim, so you don't really need to worry about the track temps too much. They will be relatively low. We're talking low 20 degrees. The Endurance race, obviously 3 hours long, so it will start to rise, but I don't think it'll be anything that you really need to particularly worry about. Now, rain. There's no rain in the Fixed and there's no rain in the Endurance. However, there is an 11% chance of rain in the Sprint. Okay, so 11% chance of rain in the Sprint. Could be interesting. I don't have access to the forecast right now. I can just see the percentage. So it could be one of those, again, Fixed, Open, Endurance. It could have rained, you know, 4 or 5 hours before the race. So make sure when it goes live on the UI to check forecast. People always ask me, I thought you said it was going to be dry. Technically, according to the spreadsheet or the PDF, it says 0% chance of rain, but it doesn't tell you about anything before the race starts. So always do check that. But yeah, GT3s at Monza, participation levels are going to be very high, especially with IMSA participation levels being relatively low. And yeah, this is just going to be a good combination. Yeah, it's going to be chaotic. Yes, it's Monza T1 memes, but I live for that. I love it. I think it's absolutely great. So, see you out there. Yeah, GT stuff. Very cool. Okay, next up, let's talk about the LMP3s and GT4s, shall we? Let's talk about the Falcon Sports Car Challenge, the GT4 Fixed, the LMP3 Fixed, and then the IMSA Sports Car Challenge series as well. We'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But anyways, all of those series are also heading to Detroit this week. And again, my fear is participation levels will be pretty damn low. Although GT4s are absolutely popping on iRacing right now. They are so popular. So I genuinely do believe there is a good chance these series will actually be more popular than IMSA. Because I think with GT4s being in there, a little bit slower for this kind of track, and the fact the series don't require, you know, an A license, I just think it will definitely get higher participation. But that's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but oh well. So yeah, these series, they're all heading to Detroit. You don't have to worry about rain apart from the endurance race, which I'll go into a little bit after. In-game start time is like 8 a.m. Track temps will be low because of that once again. Rain-wise, I think for the Falcon Sports Car Challenge, you don't have to worry about anything. And for the GT4 fixed, LMP3 Trophy's got a 3% chance of rain, which is a little bit odd, but, you know, it happens, you know, 3% chance of rain. I mean, early we had a 0.7% chance of rain. You know, it happens. At least, I suppose it shows they are trying to use the real-life data. Let's talk about the 2-hour endurance race, so the IMSA Sports Car Challenge as well. So just a little one, just want to quickly touch or talk about this, is that there is a 16% chance of rain in this race. So it's the 2-hour race, as you can see. Practice at 8 a.m, qualifying just a little bit later. So realistically, you're going to start about 8:30. And there's a chance it will rain beforehand, and it will chance of rain at the end. Real low chance of raining beforehand, really. But during practice and quality, it's 16% chance. Who knows? Will you get rain in the split? There's a low chance, but it might happen. But yeah, that's where they're heading this week. It will be okay. It'll be interesting to see the multi-class aspect of it, just the same as IMSA. But yeah, not my #1 pick, but, you know, you've got to switch it out every now and then. You can't just keep picking the popular tracks, otherwise it'll get boring. So, yeah. Decent, I guess. Okay, next up is an interesting one. It's a brand new special event that has come to iRacing this year. It is 4 hours of Thruxton, which is also a brand new track. And it's in the TCRs. Very interesting, I have to say. Not many people drive the TCR. Participation levels in the TCR are normally quite bad, but the people that do drive them do say they are a lot of fun. And I have driven them, and at certain tracks, they are quite fun. I don't know what it's going to be like here. It could be a blast, or it could be an absolute meme. I'm not sure. Thruxton is a circuit in the UK that is renowned for being the fastest circuit in the UK because it's just quick. It is just quick. There's not that many braking points, and it is just fast-paced. Really, really fast-paced. Lap times, I think, will be relatively short, and it should be quite fun. Now, in-game start time is 12 p.m. I feel like special events on iRacing do tend to always be around that time. So, at 12 p.m, I think your usual entry times for special events like they always do. So nothing in particular. If you actually want to check out the event in more detail, I'd highly suggest you go on the iRacing forums, but I'll give you the information that I can for this now. So yeah, 12 p.m. Start time. Track temp-wise, it will be low 20 degrees. There's a chance it might hit high 20s if there is no rain, because there is a percentage, there is a chance of rain, which I will try and show you. So if we have a look at the forecast, there's a 13% chance of rain. If we have a look at the precipitation, as you can see, it's just rains before, nothing during the race, and then there's just, well, there's a little bit as we get nearer the end of the race. So yeah, there's a chance. It might start off slightly wet, or lightly wet, I should say, and then dry out pretty quickly. But it should be a half-decent event. I do worry about the participation levels with it being TCRs and at Thruxton, but it could be a lot of fun. So I wouldn't take this one too seriously. Just enter it with a little bit of practice, have some fun, and who knows, you might end up getting a good result. But TCRs at Thruxton should be a good laugh, in my opinion. Alrighty then, now that we've got those series out the way, let's talk about some other series that are going to pop up the next week and where they're racing and what we think it's going to look like. Production Car Challenge, a very popular series indeed. Not going to a particularly popular track, Homestead Miami Speedway. So yeah, not particularly great with that, unfortunately. I don't see that being particularly popular. Now, the TCR Virtual Challenge. Now, this will be heading to Thruxton, which is great because it's just going to give you all the preparation you're going to need for the special event at the weekend. So if you want to take part, definitely do this series this week because that should be a lot of fun. Participation levels will be particularly high because there is a special event this weekend. So people will be wanting to learn the track and the car. It's just perfect prep, and it completely and utterly makes sense. Now, the Porsche Cup Series, that is heading to Watkins Glen International. Very popular track, very popular car, very popular series. So I don't see that struggling with participation levels at all. That should be absolutely fine. Now, I did notice that the Proto GT Challenge is going to the Nürburgring combined. So that should be pretty decent. 6-lap race. So that should be a decent length. That shouldn't be
too shabby.
Now, the Radicals. So the Radicals, I did spot they're going to Mount Panorama. So they're going to go Bathurst. So that should be really decent as well. That should be a good laugh. So look out for that if you are a Radical fan. You should have a good week this week. And also spotted the GT3 Sprint Series is also going to the Nürburgring combined. So do keep your eyes out for that. 45-minute race. That'll be interesting. Don't know how many laps that'll be, but yeah, that will be fairly popular. And then let's have a look at the Formula Car stuff, shall we? Let's have a little gander. The F3 cars, they've been at Daytona all week this week, which is pretty decent. They're going to Sebring as well. Sebring, very popular track. So participation levels will be really good for that. So you don't need to worry too much about that. If you're a fan of the F3 cars, then have no fear. You're going to Sebring and that will be popular. So F4 stuff, let's quickly go through this. So F4 fixed, Tsukuba, it's a free track. You know, it's a Formula car, is the F4. It's just so popular. Everybody seems to have it these days. So participation levels, again, will be good. Okayama, again, same thing. You know, popular car, semi-popular track, and it's free. So no real complaints there. Let's have a look at the Americas. Laguna Seca, a free track again. Blimey. Okay, F4s could be popular because of the amount of free tracks this week. And then the track that I dare try to pronounce because you'll absolutely slate me, chat, in the comments. Now, Super Formula Lights, please be decent. Where are we going this week? Oh, we're going to Bathurst. Okay, right. That is going to be interesting. That'll be a lot of fun. They're going to Spa the week afterwards. So I think for the Formula cars this week, that's pretty good. A lot of free tracks being used here. And the Super Formula Lights are going to Bathurst. So that is going to be a really good week, I think, if you're into Formula cars. But yeah, overall, I don't know how to feel. I feel like two of the popular series that I like racing, the Falcon Sports Car Challenge and IMSA, I think they'll be relatively dead, which is a shame. But the GT3 stuff, that'll be popular because it's going to Monza. And a lot of the other series that we've just had a look at there, they're going to be fairly popular as well. So if you want to go from series to series, if you don't want to stick to the popular stuff, there's some really good choices this week. So it started off a bit meh, but I actually think it's going to be a pretty decent week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, you enjoyed this video and this series. If you do, please leave a like on the way out. Do consider subscribing because it does help your boy out a lot. And it's very difficult to get subs on iRacing. Trust me. I'll leave you to it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Bye.